Yo, what's going on YouTube? Saiyan3 here to give you guys another video. Here to do a manhwa recommendation. I think that's how you pronounce it. Not a manga, a manhua. I think I might be wrong about that. Um, Basically, the difference between a manga and a manhua is that manga is Japanese, a manhua is Chinese. I don't know why I keep enunciating it like that. And then Korean comics are called manhwa. So manhwa and manhua sound like a little different, but I'm just gonna say what I'm about to recommend is a Chinese comic, okay? And the name of this comic is Feng Shen. Now, if you guys have been following my channel for probably like the last 3 weeks or so, been checking out my live streams, I've been talking about this series for a long time, so I thought this was the perfect opportunity for me to do a recommendation video for this because it's winter break. People are just like, they don't have much to do. They're looking for something new to invest their interest in, and I think this is the perfect series for them. And the name of this manhwa is called Feng Shen. Okay, now there's not too many people that I know in the anime community that read this. Okay, I know, of course I do. Duel was the one who pretty much pushed me to do it. Kyojin Kira is another one. Zoro Fanboy 124. Um, he also reads it, and then I know some of my other subs also read it, like Kill Me with a Shotgun, Instancism. Like I think yeah, I'm pretty sure they read it also. So anyway, the main premise of this entire manhwa is that it's gods fighting gods. Okay, it's about the struggle of those that the great gods, who are pretty much like this race of beings, right? They're pretty much like, say, like the rulers of the world, and they've subjugated, like specific peoples, not peoples. You have different races, like of course you have the humans, and then you have another prominent race that you get introduced to later in the series called the Dark Ones. Okay, and basically the story is about the struggle of the humans and the Dark Ones, and there I don't know if there are really other. I don't want to get too technical, but there are sort of other races out there, but it's primarily those two, and it's their struggle to free themselves from the great god's rule. Okay, now your main character's name is Wu Gang. Okay, Wu Gang, and if you guys decide to go ahead and read the first chapters, you see that this guy also is pretty much also called Ago, AH space GOU, and I won't spoil it for those who want to read it, but Wu Gang slash Ago is your main character, okay, and he's sort of like a Vegeta slash a Tao Ren mixed with the guts, okay, and that should be extremely attractive for anyone in this community, as far as I know, because you have Vegeta slash Tao Ren from and Ren's from Shaman King. Vegeta, I don't think I need to say where he's from. They both have like this princely sort of disposition about them, this very sort of like domineering, almost arrogance. He almost has a very arrogant sort of personality, and he's very like shit talking, and he likes to talk back and prove himself and that sort of thing. And he is a prince. He really is a prince, much like Vegeta and Ren. So he has that quality. But then with the guts, the whole guts thing, and I guess with Vegeta and Ren is that he's very badass. He's very defiant. He fights his own fate. He's very independent, and that's the sort of I think those are the sort of qualities that attract people to Guts, and I think that's what you'll see in Wu Gang as well. So Wu Gang, that's your main character, okay? The action in this series is very sick, okay? I mean, it's gods fighting gods. It's like if you take Olympian gods and you take gods from Indian mythology, Japanese mythology, Chinese mythology, Norwegian mythology. It's just like all of these sort of like different gods, and you just like put them in together, and they're fighting one another pretty much. Now, I know I just like referenced all those cultures, but for the most part they're all pretty much like Chinese. Like they're all very like dressed in like Eastern sort of like Eastern culture clothing, and like Tibetan monks and gurus, that sort of thing. So the reason I was referencing those cultures just to show you that it's like sort of like a clusterfuck of like all these different sort of gods, and it's just like them fighting pretty much. Okay, the plot is above average. The plot, I would say, the main selling point is that you see like all the different character interactions, like how one character interacts with one, and how he or she interacts with another, and just like sort of like all like the different sort of relationships between the gods and humans and dark ones. There's a small sense of mystery. It's nothing too big. It's not like some sort of like plot twist sort of manga like One Piece or Toriko. It's for the most part it's a pretty like it's very straightforward in how it tells you and what it tells you. It's almost like a Kenshin, in the sense that Kenshin was just telling you like, yeah, this is happening and it's pretty exciting now. This is going to happen next, and so it's that sort of storytelling. The world building is adequate enough. You get to see many different places in the world that they inhabit. Yeah, so it's adequate enough. Nothing special, adequate enough. And in terms of the morality of the series, it's not black and white. There are some characters on the God side who are pretty much portrayed as the villains of the series. There are characters on the God side and the hero side, which is with like the humans and the dark ones, that you sympathize with, and that there's like different beliefs on like what makes a god, who is fit to rule, how one should conduct one's life, things like that. So that's definitely interesting to see. The flashbacks in the series are amazing. Like you see, there's two characters that I can think of. I'm going to talk about them later. Their flashbacks are really amazing, and they just add like richness to the plot. So that's definitely something to look forward to. Probably the starkest thing though about the series, as opposed to like other, say, Asian. So if not only if you read manga about Manhua or Manhua, one of the things about this is that it's very beautifully colored. Every chapter is colored. There's not a single black and white chapter like you see in manga. It's all colored, and it's just beautiful to look at. Like the artwork is just flat out like so amazing. Like some of the best artwork that I've ever seen, and not just in a manga, manhwa, or manhwa, but just in comics in general. Even compared to some of the stuff that I read in Batman or Green Lantern or Justice League, just the artwork in here is just phenomenal. Okay, and it can be hit or miss with the emotional part of the story. So yeah, I mean, you have the fully colored part, but it can be very hit or miss with the emotional part of the story. It's not something like One Piece where it's like sort of like a tearjerker or anything. The sense of storytelling in this series is more epic. It's something to be like something meant to be like a Berserk and Fist of the North Star, something along that line of storytelling. It's supposed to be like very epic, and because you have gods in there, that's sort of expected. But it's not impossible to like feel emotion with some of the characters. Like there's one character named Ji Jing. I won't tell you what it is, because it's actually it is very very kind of surprising when you learn what it is. But that is something that that can tug at your heartstrings. And in terms of like the themes of the manga, I mean, it's very centered around war. Like I said, it's and revolution. It's all about like trying to break free of the great god's rule. So war and revolution they're very like heavy themes that are central to the story. And the whole thing about gods and royal hierarchy and how those work together. Those are sort of like big ideas that you're dealing with, and those are things that pretty much form the crux of the manhwa. So there are a lot of big ideas and a lot of themes that I think can attract like a lot of people. The power system, like in terms of the action, is very complex. Think of it like One Piece's and Hunters. In the sense that like with the Nen in Hunter, you can have like different effects, right? But unlike say something like Ki in Dragon Ball Z or spirit or demon energy, or just energy in general from Yu Yu Hakusho, there's more than one type of, say, like Ki or energy. There's like different types of energy and different types of, I guess you can, for better lack of term, Ki. You have things like smelting aura, transcendent vigor, divine power. There's just like so many different sort of like powers that you can use, and they're all pretty prominent. And like One Piece's it's like One Piece's battle system. Think of it like, and this might not be something central to One Piece, but there's a lot of use of like, say, like elements like fire and lightning and ice. Like you have a god of fire, you have a god of ice, you have a god of water, you have a god of earth, you have a god of metal, you have a god of fighting in general. So it's sort of like take Pokemon types and One Piece's devil fruits and just put those two together, and then that's pretty much like the amount of like, say, elements that you can get. And when I say elements, I mean like natural elements like fire, wind, and all this and that you can get in a Feng Shen. And it's just very creative, and there's just so many like different things that you can do with like all the different types of power that there is in Feng Shen. Now, with all the positive things that I said, there are some hard things to do. There are some like negatives to it. The names can be hard to remember. Now, like I said, this is Chinese in nature, and Chinese names tend to be much longer or very hard to remember in comparison to Japanese names. And the same can be said for Korean names also. They can kind of be hard to remember as well. But it's because the names in this manga, like there's a lot of names that like a character can share one part of its name with another character or multiple characters. One one prominent character in the series is Tian, and Tian is pretty much who we see as the villain of the series. Like I said, he's not completely black and white, but he's pretty much who we see as the villain of the series. We see the name Tian like so many times, not just with him, but with a lot of like different other characters, like Tian Wu, Tian Gang, or there's just Tian Kui is another one. Just so many different people who have that name, and then even if it's a unique name, it's a very long name, like say Wang Shushe's Zheng. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this, but it's just like very long names that they're all like spelled like differently, and it's sort of hard to remember. So that's definitely one thing. And then another thing could be that the fights can sometimes be unsatisfactory, but not because that they're bad. Like I don't think there's anything as a bad fight in this series. It's because of the length of the fight. Yeah, I would only say a fight can be unsatisfactory in the series because it's short. Not because it didn't give enough violence, or not because it meant something. It's really because of the length of some of these fights that something can be unsatisfactory. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I'll leave you guys with some of my favorite characters. My favorite character in the series so far is Ziyu. Ziyu is a swordsman that you get introduced to in the beginning of the beginning of the series. It's kind of a spoiler because you kind of see him later in the series but he definitely is my favorite character. Another one of my favorite characters is Zui Ri. He's the great god of lightning. If King of Lightning, if he happens to watch this, yeah, he's definitely a character that he would like. He's an amazing lightning user. Tian Kui, who I said earlier, he's the great god of fighting. He's a character that I like. He's very reticent and very very stone-faced and stuff, and he knows how to fight. Zenchan is a sage king. He's awesome. He's sort of like your Buddha sort of character. Nitian Urging is actually Zoro's and Duel's favorite character from what I heard. He's a dark one, and he's a very central character at least in what's going on right now. And not just Nitian, because just the dark ones in general. I mean, like, it's very hard to find a dark one that you do not like. I mean, there's one that comes to mind, and you might not like him because he's very violent and stuff, but even that guy is a badass. Like, he goes so hard, he's so violent, and it's just amazing. The great generals of the dark ones, and just the dark ones in general, I mean, they're an awesome race. I think it's very hard to come and dislike even one of them. And then, of course, I like the main character, Wugen / Ago. Like I said, he has the Vegeta character complex, and he has the Guts character complex, and the Ren character complex, and just put those three together, and then you pretty much get Wugen / Ago. Tian Wu, who's another one of the Sage Kings with Zenchan, he's pretty awesome. And then Fu Yi, I won't say who he is, but he is also what we call a fallen great god. And you'll see what that means later on. But yeah, just a slew of amazing characters, of awesome characters, and I think their story and how they're trying to overthrow the great gods is just something that's very very cool. And I'll leave you with this thought. It's not that it's sort of like what's going on with Neo. If you guys have been reading Toriko in the Cooking Festival arc, not everyone is explicitly loyal to the side that they're fighting on. So that's something pretty cool to see. There's a lot of mercenary sort of I'm doing this for myself sort of ideologies in this war, and you see that people are trying to do something for themselves, or not exactly loyal to the side that they're fighting on. So I'm pretty much repeating myself at this point. So that's my recommendation for Feng Shen G. Thank you guys for watching, and Merry Christmas. It's 1:09 in the morning here, so I just thought I'd make this video. I got one more coming up. It's gonna be about my boy Bromamura. That's gonna be next. So this has been my Feng Shen G Manhua recommendation. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.